Hello, good evening, and welcome. Early in the butt crack of New York time, and barely gotta be 1 a.m. or something, whatever our time is here. So, here is probably the third live edition of President Polo Podcasts. Thank you for joining. I'm on a place, I call it like Botanical Gardens, and all I can think about is girls right now. But we're not gonna talk about just girls. We're gonna talk about one girl, and that's the girl I'm crazy about. Like that, she's ruined all girls for me. That's like, I better find Mr. Right, because Mrs. Right is that girl. You found the Mrs. Right. Found the Mr. Right someday, hopefully. But no, we want to just be with one person forever. We can't be with both a guy and a girl, which is probably what I wanted to do. But it's just Fanny. And she ain't gonna listen to this podcast unless I linked it to her. She don't watch my channel. She don't, you know. She does barely get back to me on my messages. But I did a great video message to her that I'll upload right following this episode, and it was just me right here in this fountain area talking to her. And anyway, so that'll be entitled Video Message, and this is entitled President Polo Podcasts, episode 9, I believe, and 300 and something episodes of YouTube. So I'm looking at this elevator go up and down, and let me show you. This is a hotel. And that's the elevator right there. It was moving. And why aren't I staying there, right? That's a long story. I want to see if I can put this on a stand. Nobody wants to do this beef all day, every day. But I gotta pass the time right now because we are live and I have to fill time for this video to get my 4,000 hours a year. 4,000 hours a year I need. And how am I gonna do that? By doing podcasts that maybe 10 people watch. You probably can't even hear this. Is the volume over here? Testing 1, 2. I don't even know, man. We're just gonna have to beef it, viewer. My one or two viewers. And oh, there's a laser sight on my forehead. Who cares what I have to say, right? I'm SG. I'm some guy. Okay. Okay. I could walk around here and talk like an idiot, but I want to sit down. I want to do Jack Nicholson. Not my impersonation, though, just sitting down here. This is what I did at the Starbucks podcast from today. It was way over there. You couldn't hear anything I was saying. And hopefully the audio will be better. We drained out all these things. But it's a low quality podcast. And I would like to talk about the podcast from this morning. In the beginning of the podcast, he started talking about casinos and stuff like that. It rolled into other subjects involving how to properly even serve drinks and a lot of things that you can hear. It was candid live video, so it wasn't labeled a President Polo podcast. So we remain unlabeled because of the nature of the video and how candid it was. It was impromptu, it was not planned, and I will never do a podcast in Starbucks ever because of that. One time I almost did a podcast in Starbucks. I had another technical difficulty. Why even, I'm glad I haven't been doing SNL videos. Why even bother trying to do them in places like that on Wi-Fi? It was bad. Another technical difficulty, and you guys will like this one. My friend James from Southern California met Queen Latifah, and he wanted to be on my radio show, and I had no Wi-Fi at my house, but we went into my house anyway. We hung out, and he was about to tell me the story on the channel for you, but I had an error message on my computer screen about how he met Queen Latifah at a gas station, and she said, "So you gonna buy my gas?" That's a long story about me and James and all of our friendship. This is great. I gotta call him and let him know how I'm doing. So anyway, I'm just here with my friend Kareem. We're waiting on Brittany to come by, actually to drive up, and she might even drive up. Probably won't, because I told her she don't have to come today. But he's just charging his phone. He might bounce. I don't know where he's going. But are you going anywhere, man?
Yeah, over there. I see that.
So anyway, on the podcast, I'd like to talk about my theories on what's going on with my life right now. What's going on with my mental illness, you know? I have a lot of problems in my life, and I can't get along with even Kareem. And I can't go along with almost anyone. My relationships are a mess. Something's wrong with me, but I'm a phenomenal actor. I'm a phenomenal actor. You harness my scattered personality, and I'm really great if I'm harnessed right, you know? So somebody needs to find me a talent agent and learn how to harness this raw talent that I have, because those videos won't do it justice. You lose the mystique of my acting and my intensity by showing comedic videos. All those videos are comedic. Even the ones that are dramatic are comedic. You lose the raw intensity that I give. You see some of it come through in my acting class performances, but not even 100%. I'm not 100% here. This is rehearsal stuff. This is just for YouTube. This is not really meant to sway your opinion about me. This is just for YouTube and for audition purposes and for any interested parties who take a shining to think that I'm something. Because I really am on YouTube to promote myself. Okay, let's not make any qualms about it. I'm trying to get back into the business. I want to get into the business very, very badly. And I've been working in the business on the outside and doing small gigs for a long time. And I first fell in love with the business about 20 years ago. So this is a long time for me to be working on this and not getting my break, right? And getting so close, this close to meeting people, right? We could do a whole podcast about those incidents, which I mentioned at the first edition of the live broadcast, which was about 4 days ago on the podcast. I talk at the very end of the podcast. It was a half-hour podcast about the subjects I want to go into. And we're not going to go into any of those today. They include Ben Affleck. They include Las Vegas in The Hangover 3. They include my experiences that people want to hear, my stories. But I won't get into that. I want to talk about how come I haven't broken into the business. How come I'm having a mental illness all the time? What is it that stopped me? Because in 2002, I had a mental breakdown, right? And that propelled me away. I wanted to focus on school. That really propelled me. Like I talked to the judge in the Social Security office thing, and the judge told me, like, why aren't you doing acting? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And it is like a matter of really my health. My health is not good. Look at it, I'm out of shape. I was in the mental hospital 1 month at a time, and I gained 30 pounds, and I never lost it. And I even gained more than 30 pounds over the years. But that initial 30 pounds that I gained that I never lost, it messed with my health. A lot of stuff messed with my health. And just the breakdown, that I had, it's really slowing me down. If I was at my full 100% capacity, I would probably be famous. I would. How do you meet Ben Affleck? How do you work on the Disney Channel? How do you get behind the scenes of some of these great places, even recently, and not get made, become a made man? And not mafia, but Hollywood elite. And I don't think it's just possible unless something was holding me back. And I want to understand what that is. And I know what the doctors call it. They call it two different things. They re-diagnosed me like a week ago as something else that they never thought I was before. I feel like I was never bipolar before. If they re-diagnosed me and said I'm not bipolar, then I feel like I never was, right? That's what the doctor said. So apparently no, Marco's not bipolar. Ain't that a switcheroo? So I'm not bipolar. What? I'm a less severe form of something, which I won't say. A new label. I'm a new label, and it's like not even psychotic at all. It's just depression. So I got labeled with a new thing, depression, right? So depression that is affecting my brain. Depression is affecting my brain. This is what the doctors are telling me. And so they're saying it's schizo. Like, who said schizo? Like, that is way different than bipolar. So how is it that less severe, that it's just effective? Just kind of effective, but not very severe. And not phrenic, not schizophrenic, it's schizo. It's like they're dabbling with me right now. They're playing with my feelings. I'm mad at the healthcare industry. Let this podcast be about the healthcare industry, right? My experiences with the healthcare industry and with the mental hospital stuff. Like, you might want to know about this about me. Why am I on here? Because actually, like, this is the only job I can do. To be honest with you, I can't do much. I make about less than half a month's rent off this. If I made all SNL videos, which I don't, I make them like every other month, every other 3 months now. but those are the money making videos. They can make up to $100 a video over the course of a year. So like if there's 30 videos, that each one will make 100 after 1 year. So that's what, like, very, very few, couple $3,000 you're supposed to make off of that, right? It's like, for a whole year, can you live off $3,000 for a whole year? Yeah, I can. But those videos aren't getting the same traction as they would if I made more. So I'm gonna have this to be maybe like a rambling podcast that's not cohesive, because there's a lot of stuff going on right now behind the scenes of today's itinerary that is crazy. But I want to talk about what's at the root of everything that's been going on, not only today, but every day of my life, and that has to do with mental illness. Like, I have pills that I'll take on camera right now. They're in my bag. I have one that I have to take, right? And it's just very important that you guys know what it is. It's called Inderol, okay? And it is also known as propanolol. And this they give it to post-traumatic stress patients. There's a lot of stuff. Really, I was in the National Guard recruitment, so I'm trying to cut weight. And I never made it. I washed out. I couldn't even be a full-time recruit. That said, I really wanted to be National Guard. I had a dream and a good score.
Hi, bud.
My score, Kareem is back. My score was, here's my night pill.
Hey.
My score was through the roof. I could have been a journalist in the National Guard. I feel like I went through service because I'm a soldier of God, really. And just that, like, I don't know, was it 4 months trying to get into the National Guard? That felt like being a National Guard recruit. I went around saying Marco Rocha, National Guard, recruit Roca, right? Roka, where do you need me? Sir, yes, sir. And all that. And, I mean, like, I feel like I can get pussy by stress. I can claim it, that pill just for that. Mwah. That was a good pill. But, so, I'm talking about that. I'm not talking about a lot of things tonight. I'm talking about a little bit about girls in the beginning, but eventually talking about my illness. Like, first time I ever took pills, it was crazy. I was 14 years old. I took pills, I passed out. They put me on all kinds of stuff. They thought I had a brain tumor. They put me on Loma Linda Hospital on a CAT scan. They said something's wrong with him because I wasn't sleeping for 2 weeks. And I got a neck crank from staying up all night. And you know what it was? It was praying. I was hardcore praying. I just got saved, baptized in the Holy Ghost. And I was praying, going full God, on fire for God. People didn't understand that. I was preaching to everybody. I was reading the Bible to my pediatrician. I was reading the Bible to everybody, getting people saved left and right. 7 people came to Christ at my school, and I was bringing Bibles to them. I was super on fire. And then I stopped sleeping, though, because I got involved in the entertainment industry. That messed up my brain because I was so excited to witness the people in Hollywood that I just went through the roof, and I started getting manic. When you mix religion with Hollywood, for me, it made me crazy, because they don't mix. They don't match, right? You think so? Religion and Hollywood don't match. No. That made me crazy because like God is putting me in a situation where I'm doing both. So I'm even balancing it to this day. It is ridiculous. You watch my podcast, the movie podcast, for 2 minutes to talk about Christ and I go back to talk about movies. I can't even do that. It makes me crazy. So just the fact that that's what God is calling me and anointing me to be as an actor, but to still be a Christian though, but to be a Christian in worldly movies. What is that? I'm not called to be a Christian actor doing Christian movies. I'm called to do non-Christian movies as a Christian, and my evangelism is not the movie itself. It's behind the scenes and relationships with people that I work with. That would be my calling. And I did that every time I was on movies. We were talking about Lizzie McGuire. I will tell you about the Lizzie McGuire podcast, how I did that. And that's coming soon to the podcast. We're going to be promoting that episode coming soon. It's not already in the can, but it's been in the making since 2006. It's been in the making. And I have a little bit of a preview here in my bag. I got a lot of things, including cards here. But a little bit of a preview, a little bit close-up encounter of what I felt like. A little bit of a visual of what I felt like and what one of the podcasts is going to be, and we'll promote that later if I can find it here in my bag. So, I mean, at this point in the podcast, I like to pivot because we're talking about mental illness. I like to pivot and talking more about women. Now, if you're an avid YouTube viewer and you know who I am as me, you've seen this channel before, and like because you want to know all the channels, right? You want to know about everything. And you've seen even one of the podcasts I did, the Titanic. You ever see the Love podcast? It's a crazy one. It's me wearing the same hat when I had beef with Fanny, and I was outside. There was a guy doing donuts in front of me on this podcast while I was doing the podcast. He was doing donuts at 3 a.m. And I was talking about love, and it has an introduction with the Titanic. And so, you know what? That's my Bible. It's not that I'm going to show you. You know what? That love podcast was great. If you've seen that, you know what I'm talking about. That there's so much drama in my life. But it's a 40-minute podcast. I really have time for that. That's good. And I just want to tell you guys that this podcast is coming soon. This is McGuire. It's like Guess Who? Marco was on that show. I was the Guess Who, and she almost had it. Oh, I'm not even gonna spoil it. But we'll get that podcast coming soon. Talk about love. I was in love with Lizzie McGuire. I'm more in love with her now than I was then, but like whether Hillary Duff. I was never that much crushing because I grew up not really being into girls. and just being into myself, And that's why I found out later that I wanted to be a girl since I was a kid. I knew, but that also has a lot to do with my gay podcast, which would be a podcast that I might not ever do. A podcast explaining about my sexuality because I'm out of the closet. That's enough. You need to hear everything I think about it. So going back to love though, not orientation, because orientation ain't love. Okay, that's just a whole other subject. And love life is a whole other subject too. But I want to talk about girls and about in general, not girls in my life, but in general. Because I learned something very important. And I tell this to everybody. I preach the gospel of relationships when it comes to why people have problems. And this is not a very, very huge revelation, but it's something basic that guys will understand if you've ever had a broken heart. Is that women have mixed feelings and guys have hurt feelings. That's how it is. Guys get hurt, women get ambivalent. And I can talk about it in different ways. But you will never find a girl that is truly, truly romantic about a guy. It's very, very hard to find. You won't find a girl that looks up to the stars. She'll do that about maybe her mother, her family. Looks up to the stars and says, I wish I was with this guy so much, right? And that's the person who's your boyfriend, though. They don't pine. Because they don't want to have a broken heart. Because if you're with someone, that's the whole reason you're with them, so you don't have to have a broken heart. But guys enjoy it. Not even enjoy it, they like it. It's like romantic. To have a broken heart, to pine after a girl, to long after her. It keeps me alive. To long after Fanny, it keeps me pursuing her. Because normally it's the guys who pursue girls, and nowadays girls don't pine after guys, but they step forward and they do the right thing a lot of times. And it's the best thing that you can do as a woman is to stand up for your man and tell him that you want to be with him. So girls, if you're listening to anything I say, probably not. But if you are, just know that the guys are pining. And you can't really do the same pining that a guy can do. You can try to be romantic, but guys are not all hopeless romantic, but they all pine. They're all long. And it's nothing to do with sex. It's just to do with brokenheartedness. And look up the word pining in the dictionary, you know what I mean? Then look up the word ambivalent in the dictionary. That's you, girls. Ambivalent, mixed feelings. And guys need to know that too. What that word means. My brother didn't know what that word meant. And that's a whole other podcast about family that I'll do sometime. But if you pick through some of these unlisted videos that I can send you, I have many, many family beef videos. But you can actually, if you have my account password, which a couple of friends of mine do, you can go through my family videos for you, talking about you, Joyce. And she's supposed to be part of the channel. She's supposed to be working for the channel. And Joyce isn't doing her job. Talking about you, Joyce. You can go through this podcast and find the references that I'm talking about. And if you go and find the one where I yell at my brother-in-law, I have a podcast, a video where I yell at my brother-in-law on a voicemail and I posted it. I have a thing where I talk about stuff with my family. You can see what is going on in my family. And something another podcast I need to do is about family. But the reason I talked about that is because it all goes back to love. You know, I told this to my brother. My brother and I had a falling out on New Year's that we're not going to go into until we get to my family history, family drama podcast, which may come soon if I'm still not speaking to my family, which I'm currently not. So I told my brother, you have to know that your friend, that you call your friend that is really like a girlfriend, is in a relationship with this girl. He doesn't want to call her girlfriend because she doesn't treat him like his boyfriend, her boyfriend, but it is boyfriend, girlfriend. And she has what you call ambivalence. and she has mixed feelings about him, and that's what hurts his heart. It's like she's not all the way for him. There's sometimes that girls are like that. You're in a relationship, but then she has mixed feelings about you, maybe because something you said, maybe because of the argument you had. But just know that that's how a lot of people are. A lot of people don't know what they want. A lot of people have mixed feelings about a lot of things because of something we've done that affects your partner. Something you've done affects your partner, and they have mixed feelings and just about everything. It makes them rethink everything. It makes them rethink their life, you know, because something stupid that you do. So just know that is a word in the dictionary. You don't have to believe everything I say, but just know that these are two words in the dictionary that are true words that can go into describe women and men. It's called ambivalence, and it's called pining. And guys can't do the ambivalent thing. Guys are so honest when it comes to relationship and love. We can't even have mixed feelings. We either love someone or we don't. And you get to the truth of the matter, and you didn't love the person. You just had some sort of a relationship with them that was empty. Because you can't even corner a guy and make him have mixed feelings. You're gonna find out what that person really feels if you corner them. Guys are so honest, and girls lie. It's true. Girls lie about their feelings because they don't even know what their feelings are, so they just lie about their own feelings. And it's sad. To the point where you're lying about your own feelings to your own mom, and you're taking money out of your mom's purse or something, and then lying how you feel about it, right? It's like girls can do something crazy. But what I won't believe is this thing where the girls are mixed feelings are so bad, but you can have mixed feelings, but don't be so bad that you can't answer your phone. Oh, so your mixed feelings are so bad that you don't know how to use the phone now. No, that's not true. They know how to use the phone, and that's something's wrong there. I didn't ever figure that out because this girl can have the phone and have it be a different brand of phone than yours, so you never know the truth, right? Because you never had the same phone as that person, so you don't know what happened. So that will forever remain a mystery, and girls are mysteries, and so are their feelings. Their feelings are mysteries. So I wish I was a girl to know what they're like and to walk them out in their shoes. All I can say is in general, they have mixed feelings about things until they get much older and they figure out what their feelings are. They finally figure out what their feelings are in their late 40s. They figure out what they want. And it's different to every person because every person wants their own truth. And to them, it's a whole entire spiritual journey. And it should be a spiritual journey. You should separate your life's journey from your love's journey. That's my advice for girls. Your life's journey should not mix with your love's journey because you're gonna have conflict of feelings and you're gonna have brokenheartedness, and that's why you're gonna be sad, and you never want to be sad, and that's why you never want to pine after guys because you feel like why would I cry over a guy that doesn't cry for me, which is like tell people. And so they're crying over this guy. How many times I've had 3 conversations with women just in the past 2-3 weeks with crying women that I met in the street. I met a beautiful crying woman named Angie. She was crying in the rain. I consoled her. And I told her the same thing I said now. Why are you crying over someone that's not crying for you? And it's called mixed feelings. It's called ambivalence. And she had it. And it's a poison. You got to get rid of it, girls. And for guys, the pining, I don't have a heart to even talk about it. But just know that it exists, people. Pining exists, and it's called brokenhearted. It has to do with brokenheartedness. Look it up in the dictionary. So that's what I talk about love, and I can go into more about it. But I'm just starting to learn about how the pining part applies to girls and boys, and not so much girls. I'm starting to learn about that now. Just in like everyday common movies that fucking like have love stories that make sense. And I'm thinking, you know what? This is kind of true to life. And I just think about this movie, Annihilation, that I saw. And Oscar Isaac and Natalie Portman had a great dialogue in that movie. And then I compare it to kind of, I think Red Sparrow, too. Had some good dialogue about love in that movie. Even though it's a very, very sexy movie that's like, you would not think that it has kind of dialogue. But just like a lot of movies that I'm thinking about love lately have little gems of truth that I applied to things that I was already thinking about that sparked my imagination to tell you those things, that girls don't pine after guys. They don't. And I'm sorry, but I'll stop talking about that. And matter of fact, we'll wrap up the podcast. Thank you, everybody. This has been a podcast about love and mental health. Bye.